A wild wolf pack trapped me inside my tent at 3 a.m., but they weren't hunting me. Last month, while solo backpacking deep in the Canadian Rockies, 30 miles from the nearest ranger post, I pitched my four-season tent in a small clearing surrounded by towering spruce trees. The wilderness was dead silent until precisely 3:14 a.m. I was jolted awake by a heavy, rhythmic vibration directly beneath my thermal sleeping pad. When I held my breath, I heard it. Dense, synchronized breathing pressing right against the thin nylon walls. Using the dim red light on my headlamp, I peered through the frosted ventilation flap. My stomach dropped. Encircling my tent, barely 2 feet away, was a pack of 6 massive timber wolves. My immediate instinct was to grab my bear spray and prepare for a fatal attack. But as adrenaline surged through my veins, I noticed a surreal detail that made no sense. Not a single wolf was facing my tent. Instead, the 6 predators had formed a tight, shoulder-to-shoulder perimeter, enclosing my camp like a shield wall. Their sharp muzzles were pointed outward, bearing yellow fangs as low, bone-rattling snarls vibrated from their chests. Every single wolf was locked in deadly focus on the pitch-black tree canopy directly overhead. Trembling, I pulled out my thermal imaging monocular and aimed the infrared sensor through the roof baffle toward the dense pines above. When the screen adjusted, the blood froze in my veins. Crouched silently on a thick branch, barely 15 feet above my thin tent, was a massive 200-pound cougar. Its muscles were coiled like steel springs, claws dug into the bark, locked in a deadly stalking posture, and ready to pounce straight down onto my sleeping bag. The wolves hadn't surrounded me as prey. They had claimed the valley as their territory earlier that night. They recognized the ambush predator in the tree as a hostile intruder and refused to let the cat strike. For 45 agonizing minutes, the standoff held. The wolves stomped the snow, snapping their jaws and issuing guttural warning barks into the dark canopy until the mountain lion finally hissed and retreated into the high cliffs. Once as the tree was clear, the massive black alpha male turned around, locked eyes with me through the frosted mesh for 3 silent seconds, and vanished into the fog with his pack. Would you have stayed inside the tent or made a run for your truck? Tell me in the comments below.